My name is Mel Rosenblatt. I'm on the leadership team at Brentside High School and I oversee work-related learning at the school. We've been reviewing our provision for work-related learning. We started this process in January when we went on our leadership team planning weekend, and we looked quite carefully at the guidance from the Wolf Report. And in the light of that guidance, we felt it was more appropriate to move away from Year 10 work experience and to find a work experience that was more suitable to the needs of our students, given that they would be raising the participation age and staying on school until they were 18. And so we felt that it was more appropriate for students to do their work experience placement in Year 12 and to have a one-week quality work experience that linked more closely to students' aspirations and their career choices and the choices that they'd already made. Over the years, we've had a Quality Connections PA at Brentside High School, and we've been very lucky that this has been provided to us free of charge. We've built up a very good relationship with Connections, and we work very closely with them to ensure quality information, advice and guidance for our students. With the removal of that funding, the school had to make some serious decisions about how we were going to continue offering information, advice and guidance for our students. Information, advice and guidance that was independent. We felt that our best option was to buy back the Connections service from our local authority. So we are continuing to offer IAG through buying back our Connections service 3 days a week next year. I think now that we're paying for the service, it's going to make Connections more accountable. It's going to make us look even more closely at evaluating the service they provide. And I think in real terms, we need to look very carefully at which students we're going to target. So as previously we might have said, we've got the luxury of interviewing all Year 11 students. What we might do now is to say, which students can the tutors interview and which students are going to be priority for an IAG meeting with our Connections PA, because time is now going to be of the essence and we need to make sure all that time is utilised to the full. We've built up a relationship with businesses and universities over a period of time. We have a very strong relationship with Cambridge University, and our Year 10s and our Year 12 gifted and talented students go on workshops and day visits to them pretty much on an annual basis, and that relationship's been built up over time. We also have relationships with Imperial, with Royal Holloway and with St Martin's and quite a few of the arts colleges through our arts status, because we're a specialist arts college. In terms of our relationship with businesses, our relationship with them is usually forged through a third party. So we've bought back services from a business partnership and they've made those connections for us. But we are looking in the future to create more relationships with businesses ourselves, and in particular to utilise parents and most specifically new parents coming into the school, to forge relationships with them and see how many of those parents would be prepared to come in to work with us. And that way we feel that we've got a more sustainable model of working with businesses. The services that we've bought back via the EBP that have involved working with businesses have been primarily mock interviews with Year 10, and we had over 30 employers that came into the school and interviewed all our Year 10 students on a target review day. That day's been incredibly successful. The students have got an awful lot out of it and they get oral and written feedback about their interview techniques, and they take that really seriously. We've also brought back a Careers Taster Day as a service from the Ealing Business Partnership. We've had mixed success with that. Where employers are committed and have given up their time and have planned their sessions carefully, the students have been exceptionally engaged. And the staff involved have also found it particularly useful, and I think it's also good training for them. Where we've had a big problem is when businesses have pulled out, in some cases the week before, and this year we had an unfortunate situation where several businesses pulled out on the day, sometimes with no notice. So we were troubleshooting and trying to find something for the students to do that was meaningful. And the problem with that is that then the students become disengaged and find the process unuseful and are turned off thinking about careers, and that's not what we want at all. I think given the current climate and the huge competition for both university places and for jobs, people need to be very, very multi-skilled. We know that the new Ofsted framework says that students need to leave school literate and numerate. That's key. But there's also a whole host of other skills that students need to be competing with other students for. They've got to be able to communicate with other people. They've got to be able to take initiative. They've got to be trustworthy. And most importantly, they've got to have people skills. So can they work with others? Can they work with anybody? Do they have the skills to resolve conflicts, to work effectively, to get the best out of other people? And I think those skills are going to be really important. I think over the next few years, schools are going to really need to evaluate where their work experience placement takes place, if they're going to continue with it. I think lots of schools will choose to continue with it because students say it's useful. We see that it's useful. It does help to prepare students in the long term. I think most schools will look to move work experience from year 10 into year 12 or into the sixth form. I think there will be a danger that schools will want to compete to do work experience in the summer after exams finish, but if the whole country does that, we have a problem. So I think we're going to need to look to some more flexible working arrangement where students can do work experience flexibly throughout the year. I think that needs monitoring.